Oh, I appreciate your rink. Or
Thanks.
your ring, rather.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sober Swole podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
And my name is Paul Rowe.
And we are excited. Tonight on the show, we have David Canady. He is a strong man on top of a world-class American warfighter. I served with him in the 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines. He is currently an active duty soldier in the United States Army doing stuff, quote unquote. All right, we'll just leave it at that. Before we get going, I'd like to give a shout out to Gorilla Gains. That's gorilla-gains.com. Gains with a Z. They are not just a gym apparel company, but an all-around performance apparel company. High quality, great gear, and they also make great lifting apparatuses that help keep you safe while you train. You trying to pick up that heavy stuff and you're blow out your knee? Why don't you get you some Gorilla Gains knee sleeves, baby? I wear them all the time. Use the discount code JAKE15 to save you 15% on your entire order. While we're here, I'd like to give some love to Royalty Nutrition. That's royaltynutrition.com, a veteran-owned and operated supplement company that doesn't use bullshit in their formulations. Supplements that are just designed to get you the job done. No fake promises, no hype. Check them out and claim your throne at royaltynutrition.com. Save 25% with that discount code 37HAKE. Give some more love to the FitOps Foundation. Oh, hey. There we go.
No.
No, I'm turning that off.
I know.
Anyway, we're going
That was awesome.
yeah, that was Trish Stratus's old theme song, in case you guys are wondering. Give a shout out to the FitOps Foundation. That's fitops.org. Without the FitOps Foundation, I don't know where I would be in my personal training and coaching career today. They helped me rediscover my purpose after my active duty military service through self-discovery, fitness, and a camaraderie that I hadn't felt since I was active duty in the United States Marine Corps. Check them out at fitops.org. And if you're looking for a great nonprofit to donate to, go to fitops.org/donate. Paul, hit him with that good shit.
Well, first off, I'm going to give a shout out to the Pigeon Coop because that's what I'm looking up right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Pigeon Coop is an awesome hall where I got sober at. They have multiple meetings all across the board, CA, NA, AA, any anonymous. And I highly suggest going there. A lot of great recovery. Right now, they are open. If you want to check them out, you can go to pigeoncoop.org, and you can get a meeting list on there, seeing what's going on. I'm not sure of what's going on with our old group, the Fourth Dimension, which was happening. It was on Sunday nights. It was a men's meeting at 6 p.m. I am told it's being chaired by a new person now, so just go on the website, pigeoncoop.org. You'll be able to check them out, and you'll be able to find out when the next best meeting is for you. They're also located on the southeast corner of essentially the 60 and Rural. They're right behind the Denny's in that parking lot. Next, I want to give a shout out to place that I find very helpful, Advanced Physical Therapy. They're located out in Gilbert, and you can check them out at advancedptaz.com. And I will say right now, I'm in a lot less pain as of today because last night my hip popped out, and I had to get it popped back in today. And so they do awesome work, great staff. Highly suggest if you're looking for any type of physical therapy, give them a shout out, and they'll help you out. Last but not least, my brother, Kyle Summers, who I love and adore very much. He's very heavily involved in the sobriety industry. He works for a company called Purpose Healing Center. You can check them out at purposehealingcenter.com. They're an addiction specialist. And I'm telling you, if you get in contact with Kyle, he's a saint, man. I have no bad things to say about him. He will help you out. He'll take you down the path. He'll lead you the way that he was led. And I'm telling you, I'll follow that man to the end of earth. So with all that being said, please give a shout out to any of these groups. We all need help. It's okay to ask for help. It's out there, man. Just got to reach out and grab a hand.
Okay.
All right.
Well, all right. So tonight, like I said, it's my brother, David Canady, is on the show. David is not a part of the sober community because he has his life together. He's locked up in the sleeping old man position currently. That's
Oh, shit.
He disappeared.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
He
What
fell off
happened?
of the golf.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh, Wane. Anyway,
All right, we can keep it going right
yeah,
now.
I mean,
it's-
we can shoot the shoot the
Hey,
shit.
why not, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I was enjoying those naked stories of you guys together in the barracks, you know? I'm just saying.
Dude, I'm telling you, Dave is the man. He introduced me to a lot of different kinds of music, a lot of different, a different way of thinking for the most part. Hanging out, he's just a solid, really good dude. I've met all of his brothers, and they're really good guys too. Like his family's really cool, and
Where are they at?
they are around Houston,
Oh, they're in Texas.
Texas.
All right.
Ye-
Good old Southern boy.
Southern boy, one of them cowboys,
Is he your age?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is married, and he has 2 daughters, and he was telling us a little bit about them before we got kicking.
Mm-hmm. There he is.
Hey. Hey, buddy. Welcome back.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. My computer did something funny.
No, you're
So I
cool,
had to
but
fix it real quick.
I'm glad you came back because I can only stroke you so long without you being here. So
Sorry, I missed all the good stuff. What's up?
yeah, so I was just telling him, I served with you in 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines. You're a strongman competitor, and you're enlisted again in the United States Army. So, what else would you like to tell all 12 of our listeners about yourself, Dave?
13.
13. Oh, we're booming.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, let's see what else is there. Been married for going on 10 years. Come December. 2 kids, 2 daughters. One's 9 and the other one's 3. And both of those just kind of happened. Great things.
Yep.
Hell, man, I don't know. Like, you pretty much covered it. Like, my entire life revolves around my family, my work, and the gym. So, like, you've hit all the wickets.
Well, I mean, that's what an intro's supposed to do. But
I mean, yeah.
no, I was telling Paul, you introduced me to a lot of really cool music and a different way of thinking about things. I've met your brothers and your dad, and you come from a good stock. It's not life hasn't necessarily been the easiest for you, but your family for the most part seems like they're really level-headed people for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could say that. We've taken a lot of time to figure out how we all work together as a dynamic. It's crazy. I mean, you were there, you've met us.
Yeah.
We were young. A lot of stuff has happened since you've met all of my brothers.
I'm always a Mark fan.
But I would say yeah. I would say for the most part, everybody's pretty leveled out, and we're all, just trying to stay calm.
Yep.
As best as we can.
So all of the Canady brothers have married Katie's.
Shut up.
Except for my oldest brother, who was married to Stephanie, but her brother married a Katie.
It all comes together.
That's weird. How many brothers?
So I have 3 older brothers.
Wow.
we got pretty baby boy, baby face Dave over here.
So for all their aunts are Katie's.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have never heard that
young
before.
32.
Yeah. No. So you got out of the Marines. So what happened in your civilian life that led you to re-enlist?
So I got out of the Marines. It was 2010. I got off of active duty.
You and I left on May 7th.
22. Yeah, 2010. Yeah.
Yep.
May 7th. I remember that day because my mom, I was like, that's cool. I'll be home in 3 days.
You dropped me off in my apartment in Tempe.
Yeah, I dropped you off at your place. But I remember, so I get back, I come back to Texas, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. I spend a lot of time just being unemployed, going to school, really taking advantage of the system. I get bored of that, and I get tired of it. So I was like, I want to get a job. like an idiot, I pass up, an entry level position into a government job because I wanted to see what it was like working in a bar. So I do that for a while. Terrible idea, by the way. I met some really cool people, but man, you want to talk about one of the most like destructive environments you can get into.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But
You're talking to some
so
experts.
I did that for a while. And yeah. And then I get over into I start doing IT, and I get my brother-in-law. He's like, "Hey man, I know you're good at computers, so let's get a job out at this business." So then that sets me on a track to doing IT for like 5 years. I had a blast. It was a great time. I love the job. I'm still going to school for it. But I realized, I would say about 2016, like something's missing. It's just an aspect of life that you're not really going to find anywhere else. And, I'd kind of hit a rough patch. Like for me, like mentally and emotionally, I was kind of in a weird spot. And to be honest, I was just trying to find something to help me, figure out what it was that I needed to do. It was a very selfish move. Honestly, I didn't even consult my wife. I just told her, "Hey," I went and talked to a recruiter. I would not recommend doing that at all. No. But it's like, that's what happened. And that was, I came back in 2017, and honestly, it's probably one of the best things that I did.
Now, we didn't get into too many details of your job because it's not right to be talked about on live streaming air, because you do some things that are, you don't do bad things, but you do things that are secretive, and they aren't, you're not, fast roping into random people's house and yoking folks up, but you're doing some pretty cool work.
Yeah. I don't do cool stuff. I just put it that way. I don't work for anybody cool. I don't do anything cool. It's just one of those things where my personal belief is, what I do in the military is what I do. If people were to come and ask me directly about it, I would tell them about it. But like my entire job, I just talk to people, man. It's great. I get to go places. I get to talk to people. It's awesome. Unlike back in the Marine Corps when I was in the infantry, where I was just running myself into the ground, literally doing the infantry thing for a while.
Dude, we're 19, 20 years old, and Dave's already talking about how he can't walk because his hips are so fucked. And I'm snapping my knees back into place. I'm like, yeah, dude, let's keep going.
Now what the Marines teaches you, man, just rub some dirt on it and keep going.
At the ripe old age of 20.
Yeah, first man to die loses, and it's not going to be me. No, so I'm glad that you have a job that isn't as crazy as that is, but what blows my mind, and it's so cool, because I remember you having so many back problems and so many hip problems, and then now I see you on Instagram, and you're doing legitimate strongman stuff, and you're not lifting little sister weight either. Like, you're doing some pretty heavy shit. It's really cool to see, man. How did you get into strongman and work around all that junk?
So I got really big whenever I was doing IT. Like, I got back up into the 200s. I think I was at 220 at my heaviest. It was very soft 220. And I remember, like, one thing that motivates me really well is when somebody says something negative to me, like, especially when I'm like, okay, I'm never going to give a person an excuse to say something like that to me again. And I can say thank you to my mother for saying, "Hey, Dave, you're looking a little big there, guy." And so then I started getting back into lifting. And then when I got into the Army, I ran into my buddy John. And, we've got a gym here. This one right here, Rhinos. Great gym. But we got a gym here that it's like a powerlifting strongman gym. It's like you walk into it, it's a dungeon. It's a concrete slab metal building with no AC, no heater. It's got 2 garage doors, and that's it. And It's got plate weight everywhere. And so we're like, all right, cool. And they have a cage in the middle of their gym that's just, if you don't know what you're doing, you walk in and you're like, why the hell are there a bunch of big ass rocks in the middle of this gym? You know, growing up in the early 2000s, I've always watched like the Metrex World's Strongest Man stuff. So I was like, I know exactly what this is. I want to play around with it. So that's how it started. I just started playing with it. And yeah, it was one of those things where it was uncomfortable to learn how to do it. But once I, you know, got technique down, and once I actually started getting, you know, taking actual care of my body, it all just kind of, everything kind of falls in place. The body's really good at adapting. And as long as you take care of it and you don't just thrash yourself, I mean, yeah, I've got a flat foot and I've had plantar fasciitis and I've, you know, got hairline tears in my LCL and all kinds of craziness, you know, compressed discs in my back. But you rehab, you prehab, and you learn how to actually do what you need to do. You know, lifting up a 300-pound stone is very, very well within the realm of possibility.
You know what he's talking about, the stones?
Oh yeah, I know exactly.
The Atlas stones?
No, I grew up watching the Strongman with my dad.
Dude, those are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We the hog got like all of them at one point. Like the little ones all up to the ones where like you have to have like,
oh dude, Z's still the best.
Oh man. Like, I couldn't get my arms around it to get like situated to even like roll it up and get it, because it was just fucking huge.
Oh dude, yeah, they're massive.
But so you're like, you're not a tall man. I'll just come out and say it. You know, you're not going to hide behind this camera. No,
I am a whopping 5'7".
I was gonna say you're about an inch. You're about an inch shorter than me. How do strongman competitions break down? Are there height classes, or is it just by weight?
No, it's all weight class. Everything's done by weight. And so there are two different federations in the U.S. You've got Strongman Incorporated and U.S. Strongman, and like the big difference between that is like your weight classes for Strongman Incorporated, lightweights go up to 175. Middleweights are like 176 to like 220. And then it's like 221 to 242. And then it's 243, sky's the limit. For USS, everything's shifted about 10 pounds to the right. So it's all done like that. The heights in strongman events are all preset. Like you see those dudes loading stones onto a platform. The average platform to bar height is 52 inches.
Okay. So you're having a good time.
Sometimes 48. Yeah. Oh, like being a short guy, it's difficult. But you know, there's a guy in the world strong, like at the like top level world strongest, Rob Kearney. He's only 5'9", but he's competed in world strongest twice now. So you can do it. It's just, you got to be strong for it and explosive.
Well, you know, neither one of those things are in your wheelhouse, right?
Oh, being strong and explosive?
Yeah.
No.
No, man, like, just the reason why it's cool to have Dave on here is because I can sit and I can reminisce about stuff when we were,
absolutely,
we were kids. And if you think about just the dumbness we did, because I think you and I both were the same way, because we weren't tall guys, but we could just carry just massive amounts of shit, so we just did it. Like that.
Yeah.
I when people would be falling out of the hikes and stuff, I'd take like their pack, or you know, if they're carrying an extra weapon system, I'd like I got it. And on top of that, I'm carrying my saw and
I was gonna say you're carrying your saw, dude.
Just that pack mule mentality. That's another reason why I think that Dave and I saw eye to eye on a lot of things, because we were both like, we can move that.
Also, that you guys are the same height. That's why you guys.
Yeah, I can pick it up.
Yeah, I can pick that up. I can pick it up better than you can pick it up. So when we got back,
that's generally how it goes.
When we got back from Ramadi, all of my best friends were in 2nd platoon. I was in 1st platoon. So when we got back, whenever we get off work, I'd either be in Dave's room or in Wade's room or Wiegert's or, you know, Ryan Dean Roy and and then Maxwell. Larry Robertson. And we all have IDS tattoos. And they're all different, right? You've seen mine.
Yeah. I've seen Uyghurs. I've seen,
Yeah. And then Wade technically has 2. And then what's crazy is if you look at all of us in that, like we went from being 18, 19. I think Ryan was he was 20, 21. He was the oldest one, right?
Yeah, Ryan was the oldest. He was 20. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at all of us, man, and you think about the massive amounts of alcohol we drink every day, and look at all of us right now, and we're all, for the most part, functioning adults with children. For the most part, I said. There's one in particular that is not. We won't get into that because I'm not blowing the man's spot up.
Mm-hmm.
But we all grew up, and we by all science, I don't think we should have, right? If you really think about it, or am I wrong in saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. You are not wrong at all.
Oh my God.
We should probably be a little more jacked up than we are.
We should probably be a little bit more in the ground.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was, you know, when payday happened, it was...
Oh, no, I remember. I was the old guy of the group back in the day and watched you guys just do dumb shit all the time.
That was after I started to slow down. You met me when I was 20 into 21.
Yeah.
I used to take a handle of Jim Beam Black and then just drink it.
I believe
and then we'd be like, where's the beer?
Yeah, I remember.
Dave, do you remember?
Yeah, because I drank it all.
Yeah. Remember we made Jim Daniels and Jack Beam?
Yeah, and then we started on a Thursday and we woke up on a Sunday. I remember that. Well, as best as you can.
As best as you can remember such things.
It was terrible.
Was that
reminiscing about it, you're like, good times. And then you're just like, fuck, dude.
Was that the weekend that I met that dude that was from my hometown, and he was like a tank mechanic or something, and we ended up crashing in his house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly when that happened. It's exactly when that happened, and we all woke up and we're like, where are we?
I woke up and I was like, this is strangely familiar. It's like Central Illinois white trash, but it's the desert outside. I don't understand.
It was, that was rough. That was really rough.
Man.
Yeah, I got a question. I wanted you, if you don't mind, go back to when you're talking about you're going through a dark spot emotionally and mentally, you know, because part of this show is about mental illness and being that, you know, for me, for example, I come from a strong addict background, alcoholic, drug addict, all of the above. And I, too, went through a lot of emotional, mental turmoil to the point where even just recently I blew my sobriety by drinking 2 bottles of whiskey and then tried to commit suicide and got locked up in a loony bin. So I'm just curious, if you don't mind diving a little bit deeper into that. How did you get yourself out of that?
So, let's see. My issue was, let's see, what was it? It was my wife and I. We're both working, right? We work a ton. I had my first daughter. And we were pregnant with our second child. And this is about the time whenever I noticed something was missing in my life. And my wife and I, we just stopped talking. We didn't talk. There was zero communication. And honestly, it felt like we were just like roommates, like passing in the night. And instead of, you know, taking the time to sit and talk with my wife, what I did is I just turned really heavily into booze. I have an extremely addictive personality. Like, I would say booze is my go-to thing. I've since, learned to control it, but there was a point in time where if there was alcohol in my house, it lasted precisely one night. Didn't matter if it was, one beer, a case of beer, or a whole entire bottle. It lasted one night because it was my thing. Like, I would rather I would have rather sat in my office, listened to really depressing music, crush a whole bunch of booze, and like literally cry myself to sleep at my desk than get the courage up to go walk into my bedroom, which was, not this house, but it was, 100 feet down the hall, just down the hall and around, and just try and have a conversation with my wife because I felt like I didn't know her anymore. I couldn't talk to her anymore, and I thought seriously that my wife and I were going to get a divorce. I made a bunch of mistakes. I started going out to bars. I started just messing around. I didn't do anything stupid, but I got very, very close. And, like I said, I was joining the military kind of as a net because I was really legitimately concerned my wife was going to leave me. And I'll be the first person to say, if she would have done it, I would not have blamed her looking back on it. But I joined because I thought I was going to find myself, out in the cold. How else am I going to help raise these two kids and me not be there? And that's kind of actually the mindset that I had coming into the military. It wasn't until my wife and I had a very interesting conversation because, like I said, I had gotten to the point where I was going out to places to talk to people. I didn't go out to places to like meet up with people and do anything, sexual or anything, but I was talking to people and my wife found it. And, that was that confrontation. I wished I'd have had that conversation prior to, like, in a much less hostile environment, but that's what it took for her and I to start talking. Because it was we either figure this shit out or we figure out how we're going to co-parent, as separated, as separated parents. And that was that real big moment where you could realize, I've got to figure shit out. I can't just, hide behind doors and hide behind booze and, just sit here and tell myself my kids are going to be fine. Because that's not true. I come from a broken household, and I can definitely tell that took a toll on me, and I don't want that happening to my kids. So it got real bad. It got to the point to where, like, my primary concern was to see how drunk I could get, to see how quickly I could shut down, and if I didn't wake up, that was okay. And it took a real big wake-up call, that conversation I had with my wife, where she was like, if this is how this happens, you're not going to know your fucking kids. And that was like the stab in the heart that really got me to, just rearrange my entire life and think, like, just change the way that I thought about things.
Mrs. Canady is...
Yes, Katie.
She's a hard woman with a really, really good heart. I love Katie. I've always loved Katie. Katie didn't like me all the time, but I've always liked Katie.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it.
Well, no, man, that's shit. Just from hearing that quick excerpt of your past, man, I can completely relate to everything that you said. Unfortunately, I did divorce my wife, and it's because of my stupidity, along with her cheating on me with my best friend. But that's besides the point.
Potato.
Anyways, it's that's just I always joked with the guys back in the day that I was an honorary Marine because I unfortunately couldn't join the military. My whole family's military dating back to World War I. I was just too much of a shithead and was not able to be accepted. And so by hearing you say, you know, it took something that big, it's just you're that fucking stubborn, hard-headed that I'll say we need a fucking big smack in the face like that to wake our asses up.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
And you can't just do a little pat on the head. Hey, bud, come on now. Let's get better. No, it's like.
Oh yeah, it was for surely an all or nothing situation. It was, you know, keep it how it is or like rearrange everything, and just the biggest scare. Like to this day, if I think back on it, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, I still think about like, what if, man? Because if I think about losing my children, like that just terrifies me. Like I love my kids so much. I love my wife, but like my kids, like that would crush me. I know if that would have happened, I would have spiraled down into probably one of the most self-destructive, you know, spirals.
You would have turned into me, because that's exactly what happened to me. I lost my kids and I went right down.
I'm glad that Brittany and I have worked through, or still continue, because it's a continuous thing. But, you know, we're working through my ignorance and dumbness and stupidity and wandering. Because, well, Dave, I don't know if you know this, but Britt had 3 kids from her previous marriage. And then we have we have Ruthie, and then we have nameless daughter 2 coming. And and just like you said, man, like if Britt was like, I'm done with you, retard, you know, or I'll get to bleep that later. I'm done with you, dummy. It would, I don't know if I'd be able to hold on to my sobriety. And I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but like my head would spiral terribly out of control. Like, and that's another one of those things that's really hard to explain to people that don't have kids. You know,
exactly.
Because I've the best way I've found to tell people is it's you unlock a level of love that you could never understand unless you have a kid yourself.
For me, that's what when I first told my daughter, I understood what unconditional love meant at that moment.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant. I heard the term a million times, but didn't know what it meant until, I mean, shit, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about holding her, man. Like, I remember that moment. Like, there's just, like, holy shit, this is mine. What? It's a trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Ruthie's mushed face looking like my grandma Howard came out of Brittany. And I was just like, God, that's great.
I made that.
I definitely did that because that looks like grandma, you know?
Oh, dude, it's the best. I remember, what was it? My mom found a picture of me as a newborn, and then she put a picture of Lorelai right next to it. And Lorelai was like, why are there 2 pictures of me?
Your daughters are beautiful, dude.
That's a cool name, too, Lorelai. I like that name.
Don't let them fool you.
Hey, well, if you, so Paul is off of the social medias.
Because I was an idiot and cheated on my fiance a couple of times because I don't know how to say no to attention. Like you were saying earlier about how you were looking for people to talk to. The exact same situation happened with me and my fiance. We just stopped talking. We were roommates, and I was receiving a lot of attention from the opposite sex, which I was not used to, and it's very hard to say no to that.
Oh yeah, it's super difficult.
So I just got myself out of it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, anytime I talk to somebody, especially whenever they're new to like a real super serious relationship, I always tell them, man, communication is 100% important. If you don't talk, you're gonna just lose it. Because let's be real, one of the most important things for people as primal animals is connection, whether that's emotional, someone to talk to, physical, like sex, whatever, it doesn't matter. the moment you and your like serious significant other have a major disconnect, you are essentially forcing yourself into an unintentional like state of abstinence. And a lot of people don't think about that. And that primal brain, as soon as you start getting that attention, you're just like, hey man, it's there.
Yep.
And yeah, that's one of the first things that happens as soon as you stop talking. And so it just, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. I've been dropping F-bombs like it's weird.
Dude.
No, you're fine.
Sorry if
Have
I
you not
can't.
been listening to us?
No,
I just thought about that.
no,
But,
you're fine.
Yeah, it messes everything up. And that's just like the top. It's like top layer shit. And it just gets worse from there.
Well, you're definitely a stronger man than I am, man, for not being able or for being able to withstand that temptation.
You know, and that's another thing I want to give you a lot of credit for, David, is you had your dark patch where you weren't as self-disciplined as you'd like to be, but really your core self-discipline is very commendable, because where you almost broke, 95% of other dudes would have broke.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, kudos.
Yeah, I mean, let me be the first person to say, like my biggest failure was that I got close. Like I kissed another woman, and that was one of those things where it was just like right there. And going further it was very, very accessible. But luckily enough, Katie and I had our talk before I took it any further. And then that's whenever I like had that, swift kick in the ass and had my reboot moment.
Well, I commend you, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad that you definitely had your reboot moment, man, because watching you also grow up and do cool shit is one of my favorite things. Like I know so a lot of the guys, it was one of those things as you're getting out of the military, it's just like high school. It's like, oh, every summer we're going to get together,
Right.
And that's not going to fucking happen.
Right.
But, we, at least with the wonders of the internet, we get to at least get a glimpse of what's going on with your brothers,
Mm-hmm.
And,
Oh yeah.
Social media is all, we're posting what we want to post and what we want people to see. It's all not 100% real, no matter how much you.
Yeah, it's the highlight reel.
No matter, even if it's the low lights, it's like, I want you to see this low light. Give me attention.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll call it what it is, man. I've been in the
You're
fitness.
not wrong.
I've been in the fitness industry for a long time now.
Yep.
But it's so cool, man. Like I love seeing you out in your garage, and your baby girl out there just like trying to lift with you and stuff.
Oh my God, that girl. She has almost had so much weight dropped on her. She just doesn't know how to not be in the way.
Oh man. So I let Ruth walk around out in the garage now because she won't sit still anymore because she's mobile. And she found a headlamp and a lantern from our camping trips and was just walking around like doing little 1-year-old kid stuff like pushing buttons and things. And I'm just hitting some bench, nothing crazy, but the 45-pound plates, and she's just tall enough. Like even when I have it up, like as I was coming up, she boom. And so, I rack it and like, are you okay? Are you okay? And she just looks at me, ow. And then just back to beep, bop, bop, boop, bop, bop. The saying is you can't tell if your kid's going to be a Marine or not. I think she'd be okay.
That's not true. You can totally tell.
Dude, she's been, oh God, ever since she could figure out how to move, she's been jumping off the couch and trying to do front flips and only landing on her forehead.
Oh, dude, Amelia did that yesterday. She was jumping on the couch, and there was a blanket that she was jumping on top of, and she slipped, and she just goes, pah! And we've got wooden floors. And I hear a thud. I look over, and she's just face first. And she gets up, and I'm like, you good? She goes, yeah. I was like, did it hurt? Yeah. I said, you deserved it because I told you not to jump on the couch.
Yep.
And she waited until I walked out of the room to start jumping on the couch again.
Of course. Of course. Yeah, Ruth's thing was she would climb up on the couch arm, and I'd be like, "You're gonna fall." I mean, she's only one. She understands, but she doesn't, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "You're gonna fall," and I'd grab her foot, and she just. And one day I turned to like type something, and I just hear, "Wha-boom!" And, who's laughing now, asshole? Daddy. That's it.
I found that every
fine.
parent has a kid that resembles them in their actions. Like, I am a complete klutz, and Jake and Ryan can contest that. I hurt myself quite a bit. I should be in a fucking bubble, but it is what it is. My son, when he was 1.5 years old, decided to take an ornament that he thought was a fucking apple, bite into it, slice his cheek open, bleeds everywhere, doesn't cry once, and it goes to the hospital, gets stitches. Now, fast forward a couple years later, if his outfit didn't match, you would have thought fucking a girl was crying because it just never made sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know.
Paul's baby boy is a pretty boy.
Yeah,
So,
to say the least.
there's nothing wrong with that. He's also a great
No,
athlete.
absolutely not.
Nothing wrong with being well kept. I know nothing about it.
It's just weird. Yeah, I'm just.
I am a shiftless hobo on my best days.
Yeah. It doesn't compute with me. That's just something I don't understand with him. That and wearing sandals with socks. I don't get it.
That's a basketball
It's
player
annoying.
thing.
Yeah, I know it is.
Look, man, I get it, but it's got to be slides. Like, if you're one of those people that wears thong sandals with socks, I'm gonna call you out right now. That shit's awkward.
Oh, dude, it's
It look like you got Ninja Turtle feet.
or ninja booties, man.
Yeah. I mean, you could go with ninja booties all day, but I'm like, nah, dude. That dude's been playing in the ooze.
Oh yeah, for sure. But some people, I mean, look, dude, my boy Evan, he wears flip flops everywhere he goes, and it's one of those things. He will shamelessly wear them with socks. He says it's the best thing in winter because you can just still wear sandals in wintertime because your feet don't get cold. I'm like, man, all right, that's smart.
I mean, Chase, be who you're gonna be.
Yeah, teach their own, man. You know.
Jesus loves you. You know. Man.
Hey, people could say the same shit about me. I just recently started shaving my legs and my arms because I like the way it looks. Fuck it.
Yeah, I used to be hairless year round. I just got lazy as shit. Been letting it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still look pretty.
I know.
Look, man, like, go for it.
So,
Go for it. I couldn't do it. I'm too hairy. That'd be way too much work.
Hey, bro, I'm
But
Italian.
anybody that
Trust
can
me.
do it, it's like,
you still how thick is the sweater these days? How thick's the natural sweater these days? Can you even see skin anymore?
nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Dude, so the only thing that's changed is I've started getting white hair. That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah. I've been plucking back hairs more recently.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
You'll
yeah,
get
I can definitely
patches
say
like
that.
this. Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's like, as you can see, I'm a hairy dude.
Yep. Well, so have you been getting
But, like, the only difference is now I'm just starting to catch white hairs everywhere.
have you been getting the ears in the ear hairs yet? The old man ear hairs, like on like the actual like ear.
I don't
Not the
know.
lobe?
I don't think so. I haven't started
I
doing
haven't.
that, but I did find a hair on my nose the other day, and I was like, huh, that's
Oh
new.
yeah, I like when you grow a hair on the top of your nose.
Yeah, dude, Daz had one like growing through her freaking nostrils. Weird,
Well,
man.
see, no, so that's just nose hair. I'm talking like the hair that actually grows up on top of your nose. It's not a nose hair.
Oh,
That's old man shit.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
it was bizarre. I saw it the other day, and I was just like, well, that's new. And so I pulled it out, and I haven't found one since, but it was one of those things where I'm just like, all right, well, it's starting. The hair's starting to get white. I'm starting to like get hair on my nose. It's like,
Yep.
all right, cool.
No, yeah,
Ears are coming next.
Yeah, I get hair
Like
that
this
grows
haircut.
around my ear. It grows around my ear hole. I'm like, oh.
I don't have
That
that.
sounds like my grandfather.
Yeah. That was the first thing. I mean, it's all white. There's no like pigment to it yet, but like, fuck.
And you guys are still young.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's that unavoidable, like, once you start getting older and you're just like, everybody's like, hey man, you're a grown up when you start growing hair on your chest. Next thing you know, is you're like, well, what's it mean whenever I start growing hair on my nose and my ears and my eyebrows start drooping down? It's like, does this mean I'm ancient? Like, what is, am I
Wait until
dying?
you start getting crow's feet, brother.
Well, I think it's just the lighting right now, but Dave and I both have some really good.
Yeah, nothing compared to what I have.
Paul, you're also 96.
Yes.
I'm talking about us as young men. No, like our frown lines are pretty good. Our angry faces, we get that Eastwood look. Looking.
Oh, whenever you just start,
Yeah.
you just really start getting into it.
That's when you can see our actual weatheredness. Like,
Where do you think I got this? See that fantastic line right there? That's from me just being pissed off for so many years.
hard poops from the opiates.
Oh yeah, or not shitting at all.
No, hard poops are the worst.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hey,
I don't
speaking
care.
of which,
That's the worst.
when you were talking earlier about back pain and shit, so I have a herniated my L3, L4, L5, S1. I was in a surfing accident and I was paralyzed for about 6 months. And that's how I got caught on to the whole opiate. You know, first started with the Oxy 80s getting prescribed to me. And then all of a sudden I get an unlimited script and then I find out friends are wanting it. And then just down the rabbit hole I went. Did you ever have any problems with the painkillers from you having the back and hip problems?
So fortunately enough, I've known that I have a very addictive personality from early on.
Mm-hmm.
It runs in my family. And so like I knew pretty early on that I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. My dad was addicted to fentanyl and oxys for years.
Your dad was on the patches for a while, right?
Fentanyl
Yeah,
patches,
the Duragesic, which is, he had 100 milligram fentanyl patches,
Yep,
which
so
is
did I.
insane.
Yep.
But so I knew that I had a really addictive personality. I mean, hell, you can ask Jake. There were nights where it's like, hey man, it's bedtime. So take a shot of NyQuil, take a shot of whiskey, and then just go lay down, just to go to sleep on like a Wednesday.
Yep.
And still have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning the next day. It got to the point where just to sleep, like I was going through like the economy size bottle of NyQuil and a bottle of whiskey, you know, a week just to go to bed.
Yep.
So I knew stuff like that. I knew I had a very addictive personality. So surprisingly enough, very early on, I adopted like a rule. I will only take painkillers for as long as I have to until I can manage my pain. And at that point in time, I will literally, like, if you give me 100 pills and I can manage my pain after 4 days, I will pour all of it down the drain. I won't save any of it. Good. So, luckily enough, I really didn't have to worry about narcotics. Granted, part of my pain. So, you know, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. But no, I never really had a problem with I just forgot the word. The one that begins with an N.
Opiates.
Narcotics. There you go.
Well, it seems like more. I guess I would say booze wasn't normally my thing back then. I chose the pills, where it seems like you preferred alcohol as opposed to the narcotics.
Yeah, I would say that I got hooked on booze probably, man, if we really want to get like super, super real with it, like 9 years old. And then I fell off into it super hard, probably about 15. And I rode that train probably until I was about 30. And I'll be the first person to say that there's still some days, like if you get me and my brothers together, I won't bullshit you. Like it's like we're trying to keep PBR afloat by ourselves. But you know, it's not all the time. It's you know, as you could like as controlled as you could make it. But there was a point in time, yeah, I'd probably call it like for a good 15 years. Like it was, you know, pedal to the metal all the way.
It sounds like you just learned
You know,
now. It's just there's a time and a place
wake
for it.
up 5:30 in the morning and just get it.
Well, see, and it got to the point, I think, for all of us, we had
there's definitely time and place.
we had our morning drinks. We had
That was my favorite time to drink, honestly. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with my glass of whiskey. That was my favorite time to drink.
Then we go on a run or a hike or whatever the fuck we had to do. Come back, take a shower, have your mid-morning drinks. You know, go yell at some new kids for a while.
Yeah.
Go.
And then you're just like, man, I'm super thirsty, man. It's 10 o'clock. Damn.
I haven't had actual water in 3 days.
I think one of the points that hit home, like when I was like, we might have an issue, was whenever we were getting ready to deploy for the second time. Remember Ben Kilman?
Yeah.
I know none of us like the guy.
Well, I mean, for reasons that we shouldn't disclose.
I'll just leave alone. Yeah. But I remember they were like, we're getting ready to deploy. There's no, and Ben's kidneys started going to failure because he didn't drink alcohol for 2 days. And I remember Doc Brown, who was our corpsman at the time, literally was like, go to the PX, buy a 6-pack of booze and a bottle of whiskey, and then come back. And like he literally had like a regimented like alcohol prescription that he had to take to wean him off of alcohol. Otherwise he was literally gonna die.
Yep. That was, so we talked before on the show about like I never really had like DTs too bad coming off of booze, but when we landed in Ireland and we couldn't go to the bar, like at the airport, that's when I started to have the
yeah.
Oh man. But God, getting ready for that deployment was a fucking wreck. Our Nesbitt showed up with no pants. Like we had oh, that's another guy we should get on here. Wesley's sober too. He's good. He's married and he's got a couple daughters, and he runs. He got.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm connected with him on through Garmin Connect.
Yeah,
like, that dude runs a lot.
He runs a lot. He's lost a shitload of weight. He's looking good. He's involved with the church. I mean, but he was the guy. He was the guy that got left in Tijuana.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Do you remember that?
I forgot about that.
Oh man, they had to go get him at the border, kind of thing.
Dude, that's
like he got left in Tijuana and got robbed, so he couldn't even like get out.
Jesus!
Like
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like that was still the second platoon days. That was before he came over into first. Man.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, I mean, go back into the drink. A lot of people don't know, and I didn't know this until actually I got to rehab. My first time was alcohol is actually the only, because it is quote unquote a drug, it is the only drug that you can actually die from withdrawals. And I mean, it's people think that you can die from withdrawals with heroin and all that stuff. No, you may feel like you're fucking dying. Trust me, I kicked heroin one time when I was locked up, and that shit was not fun.
Yeah, definitely. Booze will kill you because if you like, people don't realize it. Like you said, it becomes a dependency. Like I get it, like everything else can become a dependency, but literally it gets to the point where the term functioning alcoholic exists because, you know, you take a functioning alcoholic and remove their booze and they are not even a human at that point in time because they just can't.
Yep. Their
They
body
can't do anything.
Yeah, their body can't figure out how to work.
Well, I grew up with it. So I'm half Irish, half Sicilian, and all my mother's side of the family would find literally any reason to throw a party. And the first time I got drunk, I was 9 or 10 years old. It was Jack and Sprite because my cousin gave it to me at one of my other cousins' wedding. Like I have 30 first cousins on my mother's side. So I've been around booze my whole life, man. I think that's why I never really liked it because I always saw what a shit show it caused. But here I am thinking, well, the drugs are prescribed to me, so it's okay for me to be taking this. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Oh yeah, it's a perception thing. Like I said, I mentioned my dad, how he was addicted to oxys and fentanyl. I didn't learn about that addiction until I got out of the military the first time. And then I learned, you know, my dad's 56, 57. I'm 32. I'd learned that my dad started taking those drugs prescribed as medications. You know, he legitimately had a reason to take these things. He's got severe gout. And to really be honest, the only thing you can do about gout is narcotics, unfortunately, because the pain is just terrible. But, you know, he had been taking those medications since he was 20. So like before I was born, and this, like, I did not realize that addiction was there until after I got out. And then you start seeing these things, and, you know, especially whenever it gets to the point where like your dad's like, you know, literally sitting on your brother's doorstep saying, hey, I got to fix some shit. And so like when me and my brothers put my dad through rehab for the first time, that's when you actually get a chance to see it. And I was like, holy shit, man, I had the most real conversation I'd ever had with my dad at like, unfortunately, because of this conversation that we've had, like, my dad is not my dad anymore. He's a very good friend of mine, though, because of this realness of that conversation. But it's like you're saying, the perception. If I'd have seen people drinking constantly, then I'd be like, oh man, this is a shit show. Luckily enough, I got kicked in. I don't know how. Tangents, like offshoots.
You're
just
fine.
Thinking out loud.
No,
But,
let it roll, brother.
That's how this show
like
works,
seeing
man.
that, like it was intense. It was so crazy, and I'm really fortunate that I never got into that. But I mean, to be honest, I'm really happy I didn't know about it when I was younger, because I have no idea how that would have impacted me, because it didn't settle well as an adult. It took me like 5 or 6 years of getting okay with that. So yeah, just seeing it firsthand, whether it's alcohol or booze or alcohol or you know, other drugs, it'll really mess people up. It's like you said.
Yep. How's your father doing now?
As far as I know, I haven't talked to him in about a month. That guy works himself to death. I swear, he works 90-hour weeks. But we put him through rehab. Sorry, okay, now I remember how I got on that tangent. You were talking about prescription. It's okay if it's prescribed. Sorry, and that was the mindset. So back to the question you just asked. He's doing good. Let's see. We put him. He's lapsed twice, but he's gone through the rehab clinic. That was his third time. He's been sober for 3 years now. You know, he's married to his second wife, and they've been married for 5 years now. I think maybe more. I'm a terrible son. I don't keep track of those numbers. But you can see it every day, though. Every day. Like my brother Paul, who is my second oldest brother.
Yes, great name.
My brother Paul, to this day, will call him once a week and be like, "Hey, Les, what's in your cabinet right now? Are you doing dumb shit?" Like, my dad is a 56-year-old man who's getting checked up on by his 38-year-old son, you know, and he will literally call his wife and be like, "Go through Les's like pill cabinet, make sure there's nothing there. If there is, make sure the counts are right." You know, he's got a lot of people who are making sure that he's staying clean, because he'll be the first person to tell you, like, he has a weak resolve. Uh, but I mean, he's doing good, and he's got a lot of people who want him to stay good, because, you know, uh, uh, he's got a lot of grandkids, you know, and what's the worst thing that could happen whenever, you know, hey, why didn't Papa show up to my birthday party? Like, well, Papa's in rehab, or Papa's dead. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not a conversation that we want to have with our children. So we had that conversation with him, and we were like, you need to unfuck your stuff, or we will remove you from people's lives, because we don't want to bring the sorrow. It was that very hard conversation, you know, like I was talking earlier. We wouldn't actually remove my dad from our lives, but, you know, he is a hard man who grew up in a very hard home, and so hard lessons are what really get through
Yeah,
to him.
it's the only thing that makes sense. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I mean, he sucked up his pride the first time, you know, and he asked for our help. And so it's really weird whenever you do that for your dad, because we literally told him, we're like, you're not in charge anymore.
Yep.
You're dad, but you're not dad. You're not the patriarch anymore. And so it was a really weird dynamic in my family, but it works. It
Yep.
works.
No,
Yeah.
there was a point in time where I wasn't allowed to come to family events.
Hey, boys, I got to run real quick.
Yeah,
Right back.
do your thing.
Yep.
I mean, it was to the point where it was like, if I showed up, it was going to be me either passed out in the bathroom from smoking heroin, or me getting too drunk and hitting somebody, and it was a shit show with me. So I unfortunately lost a lot of contact with my family for quite some time, and thankfully, because I've been clean off of drugs for 2.5 years, but I've been sober now 3 weeks. So,
Okay.
you know, it's just, learning how to find that balance. Like you've done an exemplary job of doing that, it sounds like.
I'll be the first person to say that one of the ways that I keep myself in check is I don't bring booze in my house. I mean, granted, I've got a bottle of scotch sitting in my house right now, but I view that more of like that's like my end of the week kind of thing. I mean, whenever you spend $80 on a bottle of hooch, you're just like, I need to make this last.
Oh yeah,
as best I can.
Or it's like having a glass of wine.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. And you know, I'll have like 2 or 3 glasses of scotch throughout the week, but if I bring beer into my house, I'm a beer guy. I love beer. Oh my God, I love beer more than water. The way that I keep myself in check is I don't bring it into my house, because like it happened to me just last week. I had a really shitty week. I was having a really bad day. It was like a Thursday, and I was like, I'm just gonna go get a 4-pack of like nice beer, and I'm just gonna drink 1 or 2 of them. And I literally was like, pop 1. I was like, pop 2. Well, fuck, I'm just gonna drink it all anyways. I like that. That was as much convincing as it took myself was, I'm just gonna drink it.
Yep. No,
Because I know, like, I have no self-control when it comes to beer.
Yep, that's why I don't touch liquor anymore, because I don't know how to stop. Like once that, like whiskey's my thing. Like how you love beer, I love scotch and I love whiskey, and I will, once that bottle of Jameson opens, I will finish it probably within an hour or two, because I don't know how to slow down, and I drink fast. I don't drink for the taste. I drink to get fucked up.
Yeah. That was something I had to learn how to do, was to drink for the taste.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. Like I said, I now buy really expensive booze. Everybody comes to my house and I'm like, oh man, you're so bougie. Like you got the most expensive alcohol. And like, little do you know is it's so I can be like, do you really want to drink $100 worth of alcohol in one night?
Well, my
So now
parents
I've
have
learned to drink
brought
for flavor
home.
instead of just.
No, sorry. I think we're having like a delay, so we're just talking over each other sometimes. I apologize for that.
Yeah, that's all right.
But no, my parents had gone to Ireland, and that's where my mother's. So she's first generation. Her parents are from Ireland, and so they brought me back a very nice. I don't know how much it was. It was over $100, but it was a very nice bottle of whiskey. And I told myself, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna drink all of this. I'm just gonna pour myself a glass. Well, before I knew it, that bottle was gone in a couple hours. And I'm like, fuck. I just wasted over. Not only is it expensive, but it's fucking from Ireland. Like, what are you doing?
There's something about a well put together brown liquor that when the burn is just right and the smoothness is just right, you're just like, God damn. Like I can't.
Scotch.
Yeah, dude. So my friend Quentin. So I had attempted to almost get my shit together, to where I'd only like drink occasionally and only buy like, 'cause I didn't know any better, but it was like anywhere from like $70 to like $120 bottle of scotch, and we'd have scotch tastings, and I had a decanter, and I was, like let's class it up a little bit. No, I'd drink that whole fucking bottle, dude. And there was no. My issue was I know how much this is. This shit's delicious. I don't care. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, so for me, I had to stop. I had to stop. Period. Flat. And I see.
Yeah.
My last alcoholic beverage was a Not Your Father's root beer that Farrago gave me after I went and put my dog down. Old Danny Joe gave me one of those, and
Yeah.
and then so that's my last memory, and
Sickly sweet.
yeah, why? And then I worked at a bar for a while, sober, and I was like, look at all these drunk fucking idiots. Oh yeah,
I know. I came and visited you.
yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, that was me. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy whenever you actually take the time to get sober and you see a bunch of drunk folk and you're just like, oh God, this is so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
It's the worst though when you're the only sober one and you're watching everybody just be a fucking idiot, and then you're just like, why am I here?
Oh yeah.
Very quickly you're like, I've got better shit to do.
Oh yeah, I told everyone I'd drive.
Yep.
Yeah, like,
Why?
well, I mean.
Oh yeah, because you're a good guy.
Yeah.
See, I've never seen Brittany drunk in person because I keep knocking her up. So. my retribution is coming.
Yeah, right.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll happen.
Yeah.
It's like what was it? The last time, you remember whenever we all were having that ridiculous party before our first deployment at the house?
That
was whenever Mark and my dad showed up.
Oh, which house was that? JD's house?
No, not the house that JD and I lived at. I'm talking about the shithole house that was off the main avenue. Leading in the post.
Was that when you were living with Scotty? Oh crap!
It was terrible. It was a disgusting house.
Yeah. Hey, you broke up real bad there, David.
Was that time Kate got super drunk? And
was that when you were living with Scotty?
I was saying that no. No, I think I was still in the barracks, but I was just saying that was the last time Katie got really, really toasty. And I'm just saying, like, you don't talk about a girl who doesn't drink because she hates it. Like, I'm fortunate to have her because she gives me the side eye every time.
Well, so I remember when all that was. I don't remember if I was even there. And if I was,
No, you were.
Okay. No, I'll just take your word for it.
Because the next day you were on the side of the road huffing air duster, wearing a cowboy hat and ranger panties.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That sounds right.
We were literally just trying to kill ourselves.
Jesus Christ. That's something I never did. I never huffed.
It's not worth it, man. I don't know why people do it. You just get a big ass headache. I did it like once.
Yeah, I've done whippets back in the day, but
Yeah, I never got a headache. I always just had a good time.
Jesus. Well, dude, I knew a cat out in, when I was in rehab, man. That was he was where did he live? Up in Michigan, and this fucker would drink coolant because it had alcohol in it.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah. I mean,
And then he'd also huff gas.
That reminds me. That makes me think of the time. I was talking to a guy in the military who had gone to rehab, and it was because of him they took all of the hand sanitizer out of rehab.
Yep.
Because you mix salt with hand sanitizer and it separates the chemicals from the pure alcohol, and the alcohol, being lighter than the chemicals, floats on top.
Yep.
I did not know that until this dude told me, and I was like, "Did you do that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm the reason why they don't have a hand sanitizer at Loma anymore." And I was just like, "I'm surprised you didn't die, bro."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I totally should have."
Oh, dude, the way
like,
I look
man.
at it, sometimes rehab was somewhat of a school of how to get high with other shit that you normally wouldn't have thought of to get high with.
I believe it. I believe it 100%.
Because I mean, when I did one time before I even went to rehab, because I went to like 6 or 7 detox centers, and one of them, that's how I learned about the Robo Trip, where you take a bunch of fucking Robitussin and you try to stay awake, and then you just start tripping out. Well, I tried it. Not only did it not work, but I ended up shitting green for the next 3 days. It was miserable.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it was.
That sounds terrible. You know, it's funny. Like, we're sitting here doing all this. Like, it always happens. Like, you reminisce about it. Thinking about, oh, it's good times.
Yeah.
And I remember, one of the reminiscing points. We were at our buddy Mike's house. He lived in 29 Palms, and as a party trick since high school, I taught myself how to breathe fire. Cool, super dangerous. Done with the proper materials, not as dangerous. When you use lighter fluid as your fuel and then you immediately take shots afterwards, you don't think about this, but I think I ingested about 2.5 ounces of lighter fluid that night because I just wasn't thinking. Should have gone to the hospital because I legitimately poisoned myself, and I thought I was gonna die.
Was that
And, like,
was that one of the nights when Sarah was in town too? Ryan, Sarah?
I don't know. No, that was the night that or that was the day that we helped Mike's uncle move his store. And I don't know if you were there. It might have just been me, JD, and Max.
Yeah, that sounds like a you guys adventure. I was very selfish at the time.
And it was one of those things where you're just sitting here thinking, like, all the reminiscing, and you're like, oh, that was kind of fun. And then you never think about the times you're like, yeah, I totally should have just wound up dead on the floor in my bathroom, and some poor sob was going to have to come find me, and it was just going to be his his bad luck because I was fucking stupid.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, shit. One night, I think
it's like,
we were at Larry and Aaron's, and Ryan caught me by my foot, almost falling off their patio at the front by the stairs. That would have been the.
yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
And then I got real messed up over at JD and Danny's. And Danny knocked me out because I wouldn't stop drinking. And then I woke up and fell in the fire. And Ryan pulled me out of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get burned.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Roy's saved my life at least twice. At least.
I think Ryan's probably got you twice. I've got you once at least.
Well, and then,
But
who was it? Who was it that night? And was it Max that we rolled over on the bed in?
no, in the hotel.
Yeah, or is that me?
No, that was me walking in and rolling you over.
Okay. Yeah, dude. See, yeah, there it is. That's there's the at least one.
That was me walking in, rolling you over, and saying, "Hey, Jake." After I cleared the vomit out of your mouth, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you know where your hands are?" And you're like, "Yeah, they're right here." And I was like, "Great." And I put them in a trash can, and I hung your head off the bed.
Hey, puke on those.
And then, being the best friend that I am, I walked out and continued to drink.
Yeah. Well, God. So we had just got back.
That was
from our
right
first
when we
pump.
got back from Ramadi.
And they said it was for 5 days and the weekend, so 7 days. They said go away, and we had bought Guar tickets.
Yeah, it was Guar, 3 inches of blood in the end.
Yep, and we went to some hotel with Max's mom and their family friend, and then we proceeded to be drunk 19-year-olds.
Oh, the worst people in existence.
The worst people in existence. And then it was a good thing that at least one of us was sort of cohesent the whole time, and that Max's mom was a nurse. R.I.P. Maureen.
Oh God, yes.
And then
yeah,
your friend from H&S, and I was trying to bang his fat sister, and
yep,
she was the only girl there.
Yep.
That wasn't Max's mom, and I respected Max's mother. So,
well, I remember when I came back. What was it? It was me, Bryce, and Randy, and was. Uh-oh.
This is an impressive one.
And it sounds like music, right?
Throw that guy off a 3rd-story balcony.
See, okay, so we just missed like a whole bunch of stuff, and it broke up real bad. And it was like you started to tell a story, and then it was like techno music, and then it came back in with you being like threw him off a 3rd-story balcony.
That's an awkward transition.
Yeah. So yeah, that dude. I remember you guys had a falling out, and I don't remember exactly why.
Because I didn't want to hang out with him while I was on post-deployment leave because I was hanging out with my family.
Oh man.
And so he came up to whenever we were living on, is it the 3rd or 4th story? He came upstairs and he put a gun in my face. So I stabbed him. And then Pat, the door was open, and Pat hated this dude. So he's like, "You motherfucker." And he tried to throw him off the 3rd-story balcony.
Pat
That was just the way things went.
Pat as in Josiah?
Patrocinio.
Yes. Pat is on the live chat. I wonder if he's going to remember that.
I remember it because I had a gun in my face and I stabbed a guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I'm telling you, like, we could sit here and tell barrack stories.
Well, I know. I witnessed it when me, Bryce, and Randy came back to Victory Field when it was you got. Was it you and
we
Uyghur?
came back from our second deployment.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that was one night.
Oh, I know.
And that was a calm night because we were all packing our shit and leaving.
Yep.
Okay, living there.
Did you come back with us?
No.
It was just me, Bryce, and Randy drove. Because I remember we stopped off in San Diego too, and visited somebody's mom and another dude.
No, because after the second deployment, I was sober. And I was like, I'm going to stay sober. I'm gonna have a couple drinks with the guys. I'm not gonna spend all my deployment money. I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff and make my barracks room into more of a hotel. I'm gonna be more clean this time. I'm gonna be a better example. And oh, blah 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 blah. But then no, but I love Pat. He came to the fit ops class that I was a squad leader in when I was helping teach.
Oh, nice.
I was helping train trainers. And that was the first time.
Doesn't Stan Everding work with that group now?
Yeah, I'm actually a vertical diet certified coach.
You and I need to have a conversation.
I'm down. I got your number. You got mine.
I am the worst. Like, look, man, I literally work out as much as I work out so that I can eat. And the problem is when you do that, it really doesn't work when you're also trying to be like competitive and also have to run.
Well, the cool thing with the vertical diet is it's not bland. You know what I mean? Because, normally like when you're eating clean, there's like, maybe you can throw some cayenne pepper on it or something to make you hate life worse. But like you incorporate a lot of natural fats in with everything. And like actual like red meat instead of not like 97% red meat, but like at least sirloin style.
Mm-hmm.
The vertical diet rules. I'm having a great time with it. I'm not the most shredded I've ever been by any means, but I'm also not working out as hard. So I'm not.
Yeah.
But I feel great. My joints feel good. Life's good. And
I follow like a really shitty vertical diet. I just need to talk with somebody who knows what they're doing so I can like really figure my shit out.
I got you, boo. I'm actually prepping a young lady for a show at the beginning of December. Just strict vertical diet. And she's coming in tight. And she's keeping her muscle mass.
Good.
I'm very excited.
That's good. Is she doing what class is she doing?
She'll be doing wellness because she's got she's very muscular all the way around, but her quads are fucking huge. Have you seen the person the big quad chick I'll post on my personal page from time to time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Her name's Lizzie. She's a firefighter.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a firefighter up around Dallas.
Okay. Yeah. I saw the last time you posted her.
She's rad, brother. She's gonna break some hearts and make some hoes cry. It's gonna be real cool.
That's all right. That's totally all right.
Oh yeah.
There's no problems with that. Sorry, I'm actually looking up your page real quick so I can make sure that I've got the right person in my head.
I got you. No, I've worked with a lot of really cool athletes in general, but like usually the women I've worked with are pretty fucking badass chicks.
I remember her.
Yeah.
We had one of my old athletes on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I what?
I was gonna say, are you or Paul or either of y'all gonna compete in anything anytime soon?
No, I'm taking. I actually am doing a big upgrade on the dungeon out in the garage, and I'm gonna really start hammering things hard again. I'm gonna give myself, at least a good quarter of getting my life back together, and we'll see where everything stands. I've been doing a lot more yoga lately to get my mobility back. Like I took a solid month off from lifting just because my body was not having it anymore. So I'm going to give myself 3 months, maybe 4, just to get my shit back together, talk it over with Britt, wait for Girl Howard 2 to show up, figure out what's going on. Then we'll see from there. When it comes to me with competing is I don't want to get on stage again unless I'm going to fucking win. The whole congratulations, you did it and you got your most shredded.
Yeah.
Like I've done that. I've done that now. It's either I want to win. I want to win the goddamn overall. That's it. It's if I'm not going to nationals as a holy shit, look at this dude, I don't want to do it. So it's going all out or nothing. So it's just everything has to be right. I'm too old to be playing get big, cut down all the way, fuck around games. It's either I'm balls deep all the way
that's
in,
understandable.
or I'm all the way out shooting it in a corner. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And me on
What
the
about
other
you, Paul?
hand,
Are you?
yeah, no, I wanted to at a certain point in time. Jake was my trainer, and I just learned I can't get on a diet, or I shouldn't say that. I don't want to get on a diet. I love food too much. I love my pasta. I love carbs. I love it all, and I got too deep into working out to the point where it took over my life, and I started taking steroids, and it was all about getting bigger, 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 because it's just that addictive mentality that I can't get enough. And it got to the point where I was endangering myself, and so I just recently started working out again, and I'm finally getting to a place where I'm comfortable with how I look, because I have horrible body dysmorphia. I mean, I didn't break 100 pounds until I was 15. So I've always been a small, skinny kid. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had this mentality that I had to just be this big, badass guy to keep people away from me. I'm 38. There's no one coming after me. And I'd rather work out for the next 20 years and feel good about myself than work out for the next 5 just to fucking look big.
Yeah, I totally get you there.
Bless you.
I definitely feel like lifting has become my addiction. I will wholeheartedly state that as truth. Like, it is an addiction, but luckily enough, my addiction is just lifting the heaviest weight that I can possibly get my hands on.
Nah, I respect it, man.
Like, I was going to do a power meet in May. Yeah, I was going to do a power meet in May, but unfortunately, the gym that I work out had to back out of their meet because my goal is to go in and be a novice lifter and put in a 1,500-pound total. Just crazy stuff like that. But I got this competition coming up in November, so it's like that is like my focus. I eat a specific way, I train a specific way. Like, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get in the gym by 5, so that I can be out of the gym by 7, so I can be at work by 8. And then I, work, get done with work, come home, cook dinner for the kids go to bed. I do 2 hours of homework for school, and then it's rinse and repeat. Like,
Dedication, brother.
it is crazy. And there are days where I'm just like, I just want to stop, but I can't, because if I don't lift, I'll lose my fucking mind.
Yep,
No,
I get it.
I get that totally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Big Dirty Dave, I think it's about time to wrap this bad boy up.
Cool. Well, this is the first podcast I ever done. I had a blast. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for coming
in.
on. Do you have anybody that you'd like to shout out? Any companies or your social medias or anything like that?
I mean, I guess you could say that I am technically sponsored by Valor Massage, which is like a sports therapy massage group here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. But the biggest shout out that I would do for anybody who's in, Raleigh, Fayetteville, North Carolina areas, if you want to find a really good power gym, strongman gym, and hell, just an all-around gym with a lot of good people in it, Rhinos gym in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Place is badass. The owners are great, and I've definitely learned a lot and run into some really cool people. So give it a go. $5 day pass.
Hey, can't fuck with that. That's good shit.
That is, because out here you can't even get those
Not
anymore.
gonna find no fucking $5 day pass.
Nope.
Even
it's crazy because like I'm good friends with the owners of the gym. It's a $5 day pass, and then like the subscription is a $35 a month for 24-hour access. I don't know anywhere else where you can do that, where they actually have like the amount of specialty equipment. So I literally treat that place like it's my second home.
I would too. That's great. That's amazing.
Dude.
That's
Katie the other day was like, can you stop going to the gym every Saturday? Because you're there for like 4.5 hours.
She's got papers to grade and didn't need kids pulling her hair and shit, right?
Exactly. But yeah, guys, thanks. I appreciate y'all for letting me come on.
Hey, man.
Yeah, Jake, you called me and I was literally laying in bed and you're like, hey, man, you want to do a podcast? Sure.
Yeah, I'll get up. Well, hey, tell Katie I said hello and I miss her charm. And
I'll let her know.
Yeah. Hey, man, I love you. I appreciate you very much.
All right. Yeah, I love you too, bud.
All right, brother. You have
Paul's
a good
good
night.
meeting you.
It was a pleasure, sir. I look forward to talking to you again.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anytime y'all need just a random dude to talk about things, phone call away.
Absolutely.
We'll call Pappy Dave and have him swing on.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the Sober Swole podcast tonight. And a very special thank you to our guest, David Canady. Appreciate you. Love you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
We did it.
Y'all have a good one.
Later, brother.